Welcome to the Silver Rush, where only top-of-the-line energy weapons can be found. What can I do for you? Good job. I need to work out some last-minute details with our new clients, but after that we'll head back to the Rush. No time to talk. We have to finish these bastards off. My favorite employee returns. What can I do for you? Simon's been telling me how it went. Let's do a quick recap. Welcome back. Did you have news for me, or are you just here for the guns? Good, you're here. Do you remember that package I had you deliver? Well, the client liked the sample and put in a massive order. It's possibly the biggest order we've ever supplied. I've had to repeatedly assure my mother that everything will go smoothly, and that's where I'm hoping you'll come in. We'll be bringing an escort, and I want you on it. What do you say? Welcome back. I hope you've been working on that task Jean-Baptiste had for you. My brother is not a patient man by any means. Of course. Please let me know if anything catches your eye. I suppose you have a few questions. The commander is down. Kill the rest. No, I imagine he won't. I trust you find everything acceptable? I know I did. We became close. I warned him that I was a very jealous woman, and he said he understood. Everything. Up until recently, this man was an employee of mine. He's quite handsome, don't you think? Apparently he didn't. Last week, I chanced upon him in Gomorrah, being serviced by one of their two-cap whores. I was not pleased. I tell you all this because I want you to know that this man means a great deal to me. Speaking of which, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Things are about to get a little crazy. When I give the signal, follow my lead, okay? They're taking an awfully long time inspecting the weapons. I'm beginning to think they're doing it just to unnerve us. Don't let them rattle you, though. The deal's almost done. There's just one last piece of business left. Mr. Soren, please get to the point. The second half of your payment is late, and I want to know why. Might I ask for what reason? The shipment was delivered. The guns were tested before leaving this facility. I think I understand what the issue here is. Excuse me for a moment, would you? Jean-Baptiste, could you bring out the volunteer? This is a lesson, Mr. Soren. A lesson in faith. Do it. Never break faith with the Van Graffs, Mr. Soren. I expect you'll have the rest of our payment ready tomorrow morning. He was stealing money, though he could have kept it for all I cared. God knows he earned it. Okay, everyone. Show's over. Back to work. Oh, I do. They're a bunch of corrupt, bullying fools who think they can tell everyone how to live their lives, and my family's fought them for years. But that's just it. Do you know how large the NCR army is? If they wanted to, they could have beaten us a dozen times over. Do you know why they haven't? Money. Every time things have gotten too tense, we've paid them off and laid low for a while. They're an enemy we can live with. This Caesar, on the other hand, is a different animal. We've heard reports for years from our agents to the east. He doesn't tolerate his enemies. He makes examples of them. Given that, the choice was rather simple. And he doesn't have friends, only servants. And the Van Graffs serve no one but themselves. That's what I like about you. You follow orders, for the most part. Just remember to wait for the signal. It'll be all I can do to supply the NCR with the amount of weapons they want, so I'll be pretty busy for the foreseeable future. Oh, you're probably wondering if you still have a job. I don't have anything open at the moment, sadly. But we're going to need all the help we can get transporting guns to the NCR, so stop by every now and then, and I might have a delivery job for you. And before I forget, here's your share of the take from the warehouse job. You can keep the armor. Thanks again for all your help. I don't have time to explain now. Just do as you're told and we'll all be rich. Caesar has been making overtures to prominent suppliers for some time now. Usually, they're too scared of him to cross him and just pay or flee. I saw an opportunity and negotiated a deal with the NCR. I helped draw some of their enemies' troops into a trap, and they agreed to buy from me. Normally, those stuck-up bastards wouldn't have anything to do with us, but their situation is precarious, and this chance was too tempting. You're welcome here anytime. We made a lot of money, that's what. The Legion paid us to deliver weapons, and the NCR paid us to deliver the Legion. Or some of them, anyway. Not if we don't screw this up. I'm counting on you to do your part. Just wait for the signal. You'll know what to do. Well, not exactly. The deal wasn't exactly sanctioned by my mother, but she'll come around when she hears about the profit I made. If she's smart, and she is, believe me, she'll turn this to her own advantage and make a bundle off our new connections in the NCR. Hardly. They've got a lot of soldiers and slaves, but they don't come close to having the amount of wealth the NCR has. When I said we were going to be rich, I meant it. The deal I brokered with the NCR netted me 5 times what Caesar paid. Keeping Caesar's money was just a bonus. I don't really have much to do with them. They seem to have an aversion to weapons technology, and those who possess a great deal of it. Their loss, really. Look around, and you'll notice 2 things. First, we don't lack for security. I'm not worried about anyone breaking in here or stealing our goods. Not that we don't occasionally have attempts, but even those prove useful. Do you know how much target dummies cost? Back to my point. The second thing you'll notice is that we do not sell cheap merchandise. Everything here is second to none. People who buy Van Graff goods typically don't care where they have to go to get them. This place is certainly lively, that's for sure. Did you want to know something specific about it? Well, you probably noticed the Atomic Wrangler across the street. That's pretty much the place to go around here. They make it a little loud around here at night, but the business their proximity brings more than makes up for it. Other than them, you're better off skipping Freeside entirely and just heading to the Strip. Suits me. What did you have in mind? It's just a rumor. Even so, I trust you will refrain from bringing up this subject again. Very little, same as everyone else. We attempted to deal with him when we first moved into the area, but had no luck. He must have his own weapons supplies to keep as many laser-armed robots operational as he does. Makes me wonder where they are. Oh, there's not much to tell. I was born into a big family and don't get along with my parents. So here I am, as far away from them as possible. There are chief competitors in this region and many others. That makes them our enemies. While I respect their business acumen, I'm obligated to try to destroy them however I can. That's business, after all. Yes, it is. My brother and I run this particular branch, but our family has operations all over, particularly in California. The rulers of Freeside. The Kings are a bunch of boys who refuse to grow up, and this is their playground. Their leader seems different, though. The few times I've dealt with him, I've been impressed, despite myself. Unfortunately, he rarely acts. The Kings believe that everyone in Freeside can do whatever they want, provided they can back it up with force, which suits us just fine. When we first arrived in Freeside, the Kings protested when we kicked out the original occupant of this establishment. When we reduced several of their members to glowing puddles of goo, their objections vanished. Since then, we've left each other alone. I've only heard rumors, since this is the furthest east our operations go, but the rumors are pretty scary. They're said to be a huge slaver nation, with all the soldiers obeying their lord with unquestioning obedience. Sounds like a man I'd like to meet. You must not know a lot about my family, or you wouldn't have asked that. The Van Graffs and the NCR have been enemies for decades. They've tried to block our expansion for years, but we've managed to grow regardless. The problem is, they have too. The NCR is huge now. We're talking on a scale that's difficult to imagine. Time was, we could fight them and hold our own. Not so anymore. My family has enough men and guns to field a small army, but the NCR can field a really, really big army. Fighting them is out of the question now. You basically let every jackass off the street march in here. That doesn't say much for your judgment. Still, you did manage to prevent that psychopath from blowing this place up. That deserves some reward, at least. Then you robbed me of my revenge on that prancing asshole of a king. For that alone, I should kill you. That is to say, you performed as instructed. Simon was impressed, and so am I. So you get a small bonus with your normal pay. You kept away the undesirables, patted down the rest for weapons, and kept your cool. You had a little bit of a hard time following instructions, but didn't do too bad overall. Here's your pay. However, another task has come up that I could use some help with, assuming you're still interested in making some money. It's better if you don't ask. Now, I believe I asked you a question. What was their reaction? Suit yourself. Was there anything else you wanted? There's a deal that we've been working on for a while now, and the buyer would like a sample of our weapons. I need you to run a package out to a discreet location that the client has chosen. Sound good? Not at all. Unfortunately, I found someone else with a little more experience, and he'll take over the position starting tomorrow. Well, look who doesn't need my money anymore. When you find your pockets a little lighter, stop back. It's a courier job, so it should be easy caps. Perfect. We're still getting everything together, but I can always find a use for idle hands in the meantime. Once we're settled, we'll head out to the rendezvous point. Good. Good. Here's your payment. If you'll excuse me, I have some thinking to do. Oh, Jean-Baptiste was talking about a matter earlier that he needs help with. I volunteered you. See him for the details. Good. Here's the package. I'll mark the location on your map. The buyer said they'd be in town for quite a while, so there's no rush. That said, try not to dawdle. This client could mean big money for us, which naturally means big money for you. It just so happens a position opened up recently. We currently need another body to guard the entrance outside. Think you can handle that? Ran out of caps, eh? The job's still available, if you're interested. You're in luck. We've interviewed a few people for the courier position, but they all seem so untrustworthy. Ready to make some money? And don't leave me in suspense. What was their reaction? Very well. Let me know if you change your mind. The buyer said they'd be in town for quite a while, so there's no rush. My men have their hands full with our other operations, so unless I can find another courier, the job will still be available. Wonderful. I already have a man outside who can show you the ropes and get you set up. His name is Simon. He's been with the family for years, so listen to what he says and follow his instructions. That's okay. I still need some time to get everything together. The logistics of an order like this are headache-inducing. We won't need to head out for a while yet, so stop back when you have the time. It just so happens a position opened up recently. It's not much, but it'll be a good way for me to gauge your potential for future assignments.